All right, welcome back to the channel. I'm TC. Uh, if you're new to this channel, this is a weekly channel. I cover key games across the S.E.C. and the A.C.C conferences, and I also cover the South Carolina Gamecocks. Today we're talking about Shane Beamer. Should South Carolina move on from Shane Beamer? It's been a very um, bad season. I know a lot of people are angry, disappointed. They had high expectations. Um, they feel like the easy fix would be to fire Shane Beamer. They see a lot of these other schools firing their coaches. We're in this new era where you pay players to come, and you see teams getting a new coach, and a few teams have been successful getting a new coach and bringing in a whole bunch of new players, and they've started winning right away. But I think more often than not, that's not the case. If you take a look at LSU, they spent a lot of money in the portal, and they've had a bad year. Florida State, they brought in a lot of portal players one year. I think they went undefeated, and then the next year they won like two or three games. They were terrible. So that's not always going to work. Um, Not only that, South Carolina, I don't think they have the money, the budget, nor are we a school that is going to get all the best players uh, through the portal. We can get our share. If you look back over the last 5 to 7 years, 2019 under Muschamp we were 4-8. 2020 we were 2-8, and then Shane Beamer comes in. Uh, I think Beamer is a very good recruiter. I think his coaching staff loves to coach for him. The players love to play for him. They've got a good culture here. But being a special teams coach, he's not the play caller. I don't. He doesn't know what to do to try to help the offense when they're struggling or help the defense when they're struggling. He's more like a CEO. Um, I think they have a really good culture here at the university now. The players don't get in trouble, but it all comes down to winning games. So in his first year, he's got Marcus Satterfield. They go 7-6. They had went through like four different quarterbacks, a lot of injuries at the quarterback position. Some guy that was a graduate assistant coach ended up being the starter, Zeb Nolan. 2022, they go 8-5. They're struggling. Satterfield's trying to run what everybody says is a complicated offense. Uh, they can't score any points. All the fans are upset. They want him fired. They start talking about simplifying the offense. They go to these wristbands. They simplify the offense. They blow out Tennessee, and they beat Clemson at Clemson. I remember thinking at the time, maybe this guy's got it figured out. Maybe we should keep him. I don't know. But anyway, Nebraska hired him. He went up to Nebraska, and within 2 years, he was relieved of his duties there for the same reasons. So then we bring in Dowell Loggins. Dowell Loggins, another NFL guy, trying to run a pro style NFL type offense. They go 5-7. That opening game against North Carolina was horrendous. They've got a ton of injuries on the offensive line. Uh, Spencer Rattler is just getting killed back there. So we kind of give them a pass on that one. Then 2024 comes along. Sellers is a first time starting quarterback. He struggles in the first few games. And then they start uh, getting things together. Sellers starts playing real well. He starts being like Superman. Nobody can sack him. Whenever plays break down, he's able to make big plays and turn them into touchdowns and stuff. And they win 9 games. And then Dal Loggins moves on to take a head coaching job at App State. And so now we have Mike Shula. He's on the staff. He's been working close with Sellers. So Beamer feels like, well, we'd like to keep continuity. He's already got this established relationship with Sellers. If we can just continue the same offensive plays and schemes, everything should just continue on. And the fans have high expectations. Uh, and Beamer's talking high expectations, like we should be a playoff team. They start the season ranked like 11th in the country, uh, and I think our expectations were too high. I mean, personally, I thought we might be 5-7, but I thought the defense was going to really struggle, and because they lost so much talent off the defense, I thought the offense was going to have to carry the defense. I thought the offense would be very good, but with all the loss of talent on defense, I didn't think we would, beat Alabama or Oklahoma or win at Missouri and stuff like that. But I think most people had high expectations. Uh, so if you look at the situation this year, Beamer, a lot of people are angry now. They're emotionally upset. They want to fire Beamer and get a quick fix. Um, but if you look around, a lot of these blue blood schools have fired their coaches. There's a lot of openings. I don't know who South Carolina thinks they could get. If they fire their head coach, you're probably going to lose your defensive coordinator and all his staff as well. So now you've got to get a new offensive coordinator, a new head coach, a new defensive coordinator, all across the board. You're just burning everything down and starting all over. Um, but if you look at the problems with this team, um, the offensive line coach was terrible. They had the same situation year after year where the offensive line made penalties, they gave up sacks, they couldn't play together as a unit. Uh, the guy was a good recruiter, but he didn't develop talent. And so it was the same situation, same story year after year. But now he's fired that guy. He's finally seen the light, and he's got Sean Elliott in his place. And I think Sean Elliott has done an outstanding job. This offensive line was making tons and tons of stupid pre-snap penalties that were just killing drives. And Sean Elliott has pretty much eliminated that. Uh, they're they're starting to play better as a unit. They're starting to get some push now in the running game. Our main problem and the reason we've struggled this whole season has been because of the offensive coordinator, the play calling, the scheme, and the play calling. I mean, they've actually been in position to uh, to win some of these games if the play calling had been better. I mean, we've only had like 18 trips to the red zone because of all the penalties and stuff. And then when we get down to the red zone, we couldn't score because of the stupid play calling. And Shane Beamer, he tries to present it as, well, we're doing such a good job that we're in all of these games and we have an opportunity to win, in the at the end of these games. That's the way he's looking at it. But I look at it as, they're not doing a good job, and if they were doing a good job, we would be winning these games instead of having close losses. But in this year, I don't know who we think we could get to come in here and just burn everything down and start all over. I think it would be there's a greater chance of hiring the right offensive coordinator. I mean, if you look at the game yesterday, Mike Furry, they changed the scheme a little bit. They started out on a two-back set. They were running the ball very well. He was being creative with his play calling. Um, They did the reverse with the pass to the quarterback. He almost broke that for a touchdown. They were moving the ball very well, scoring points. And then in the second half, they just totally went away from that. And I can't understand why they did that. But if you had a good offensive coordinator who could make adjustments in the game, and you could have we could have won 8 or 9 games this year, I believe. And I believe it would be easier and more likely that Shane could finally get the right hire and get a good offensive coordinator than it would be to burn down the whole thing and start all over again. Because if you fire Shane Beamer, you're going to lose your recruiting class more than likely. You're going to lose most of your best players in the portal. And unless it's some big time coach coming in, I mean, these guys aren't going to stick around to play for him, and a bunch of new guys aren't going to be willing to come. I mean, you're not going to get Lane Kiffin. You're not going to get. It looks like James Franklin's going to Virginia Tech. Uh, you're not going to get Nick Saban. You're not going to get Eli Drinkowitz. Uh, I think it just makes the most sense, realistically, to stick with what we've got and try to tweak what we've got by getting a better offensive coordinator. And then we may find ourselves back in the same situation next year if he makes another bad hire. I think the AD Dionati, I think he should just wait and let this season play out and see who Shane wants to bring in as an offensive coordinator, or if he intends to keep Sean Elliott as offensive line coach. And if he's not bringing in some coordinator who has a college type offensive game plan that is going to be able to score some points, then he needs to say, well, we're going to have to cut you loose, Shane. But that's my opinion on it. That's what it is. It's an opinion, you know. Let me know what you think. If you like this type of content, please consider subscribing, and we'll see you next time.